Am I the a-hole for not going to the wedding of my dad and his affair partner? When I was 17, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. 2 years later, she passed away. During those 2 years, my dad was not around much. He was always working or going on business trips. My aunt and grandmother were the ones who mostly took care of my mom. About 5 months after my mother passed, my dad introduced me to his new girlfriend. I was furious. I yelled at him for how quickly he seemed to move on from my mom. That was when they told me they had actually been in a relationship for 3 years. My dad had been cheating on my mom while she was dying. Those business trips were really him going to see his affair partner. I was so angry that I packed my things and left his house. I have not spoken to him since that day. I am now 25. The only family member I still speak to is the aunt who helped me when I left my dad's house. A few days ago, she called me and asked how I was doing. Then she asked if I had heard from my dad. I told her there was no reason I would hear from him again. She then said my dad was getting married to his affair partner and that going to the wedding could help mend our relationship. I asked her why I would ever do that. I told her he was dead to me. There was silence on the phone for a moment, and then my dad spoke, asking if that was really how I felt about him. I immediately hung up when I heard his voice. I realized he had been with my aunt when she called me. I texted my aunt and reminded her that I had asked her not to share any information about me with my dad, and that she had agreed to that. She texted back saying I was an a-hole for what I said, that my dad was crushed, and that I should have moved on by now. I did not want to argue with someone who had helped me, so I blocked her. Over the next 2 days, I received a wedding invitation in my mailbox. The only person in the family who knew my address was my aunt. She had also given my phone number to various family members. I started getting bombarded with calls and texts from my dad, uncles, cousins, and aunts, all telling me I should give him a chance and come to the wedding. Some of them called me names for what I said. I even received a text from the affair partner, saying my dad was thinking about postponing the wedding and that I should just talk to him. For context, the affair partner was a friend of my mom and knew she had cancer. I replied that it was not my fault if he postponed the wedding and that I did not want a relationship with either of them. They were trying to force one on me. After that, things went quiet. Still, being told by so many people on my dad's side of the family that I was an a-hole left me conflicted. Even so, I am sticking to my decision. Update 1. First, I want to thank everyone who commented on my first post and everyone who messaged me. It really helped me stick to my decision not to go to the wedding. I wanted to update sooner, but work has been hectic. After all the texts and calls from different family members, I sent a single message to everyone explaining what my dad did and why I chose to go no contact with him. Then I blocked all the numbers. I changed my phone number but kept the old one on a separate phone in case they tried to harass me from random numbers, so I could collect evidence. Luckily, nothing happened, and I thought that was the end of it. About a week later, my aunt's fiancé came to my apartment. He knows what time I get off work and was waiting for me in the parking lot. I was apprehensive, but he assured me he only wanted to talk. According to him, the message I sent caused a massive fallout in the family. Some cousins who did not know what had happened in the past started questioning my dad and the affair partner. They became defensive and denied it, but someone eventually confirmed it was true. This led to huge arguments within the family, and some cousins pulled out of the wedding. My dad wanted to postpone the wedding so he could talk to me, but the affair partner threatened to leave him if he did. Word of what they had done also reached some of their friends, many of whom had been friends with my mom. Some of them also pulled out of the wedding. This caused the affair partner to have a breakdown. She started banning anyone who brought it up, including family members, from attending the wedding. According to my aunt's fiancé, she is blaming all of this on me and says I did it intentionally. I laughed when I heard that. The wedding is still somehow happening. I asked him how all of this started. He said there was a discussion about how bad the family would look if I was not at the wedding, and my aunt offered to call me. He said he disagreed with the idea, but she did it anyway. He told me he came to see me because he felt I deserved to know what happened. I thanked him, but I told him I would be going completely no contact with my aunt and, by extension, him as well. He understood, wished me well, and left. I will not lie and say I am completely okay. I miss my aunt. I miss my mom. But I know I did the right thing. I am currently staying with my girlfriend, and she has been cheering me up by joking about absurd ways to ruin the wedding. Many of you suggested therapy, and I'm going to take that advice. Some of the comments made me realize how much grief and anger I have bottled up. I am nervous, but I think it will be good for me. Thank you again to everyone who commented and gave advice. Update 2. Hello. I am not sure if I am doing this right, but I logged in today and saw a lot of messages asking how I am and what happened. For those asking about the wedding, I do not know much. I only know that they got married. No one from that family has contacted me since, and I have not gone looking for information. I am at peace with it. As for me, things are different now. First, thank you to everyone who reached out and checked in on me. Your kindness means more than I can express. I am doing better, slowly, though the journey has not been easy. A lot has changed since my last update. I am single now and have moved to a new city. My ex, who I will call Mia, and I separated about 4 months after my last post. We celebrated 2 years together in March and talked about our future, but I was not in a good place mentally. Therapy started well, but it quickly uncovered how many unresolved issues I had from losing my mom. I was crying randomly, struggling emotionally, and having intrusive thoughts about somehow becoming like my dad. Mia wanted marriage and kids, and I knew I was not capable of giving her the future she deserved at that time. It would have been selfish to ask her to stay while I worked through my issues. We had a long, emotional conversation and ultimately decided to part ways. It was painful, but it was the right choice for both of us. Mia and my friends checked on me daily after the breakup, and I am incredibly grateful I was not alone. In July, I was offered a position at my company's head office in another city. After talking it over with my therapist, I decided it would be a good opportunity to start fresh. I moved in September. My best friend used 25 days of his 30-day vacation to help me pack, move, and settle in. I cannot overstate how much that meant to me. Since then, I have been taking things one day at a time. The new office has been wonderful, and everyone has been welcoming. I attend online therapy twice a week and in-person grief counseling. It has helped a lot. I am in a much better mental space, though I am not ready to date again. For now, I am focused on healing and my career. Final update, my post ended up circulating on YouTube and TikTok, and I have received a lot of messages asking for updates. This will be my last one. Dad and his family, I have not heard from any of them. My friends, still amazing. Where I live and work, I live in Europe. That is all I will say. Someone figured out who I was and sent flowers to my office with the Reddit post attached and a very kind message. It was sweet and also a little unsettling. Mia, we are talking again, slowly. We ran into each other at a friend's wedding earlier this year. We still have feelings, but we are taking things carefully. Me, I am doing much better. Therapy and grief counseling have been life-changing. The group counseling especially helped me more than I expected. I was afraid people would dismiss my grief because of how much time had passed since my mom died, but everyone was welcoming and supportive. My life is not perfect, but I am healing. I am in a far better mental place than I was before. Thank you to everyone who reached out with kindness. It helped more than you know. I am going to focus on living my best life from here on out.